Hello and welcome. So, this is for you if you're ready to wake up to Stripe notifications on your phone, if you're ready to feel that confidence in your funnel and your ad strategy instead of just second guessing every click and conversion, if you're ready to actually make money from your ad spend and not just, end up with just this ghost time of freebie seekers, then this is for you. So, if you've already built the offer, you've written the emails, you've set up your funnel, you even turned on your ads and maybe multiple times, and you've done everything that experts told you to do, like tweaking your landing page a bunch of times, rewritten your sales emails 100 times, creating yet another, like playing around in Canva to redo your ad creatives again. Like that's going to be the thing that fixes it, or like playing pin the tail on the audience, as I like to call it, inside of Ads Manager, praying that, this time the clicks will convert. But if you're still getting things like, you're getting signups, but like no one's buying, or like people are like falling through the cracks, that's actually why, but you're getting clicks but they bounce, or you're ending up with people on your sales calls that can't afford you or are not aligned, then it's likely that you're growing a list, but it's like crickets. And you're like in this like loop of like almost like you're almost full, you're almost booked, things are almost converting, but it's never quite there. And you're starting to question like everything, like your offer, your pricing, your audience, and you're in this like whirlwind. I'm here to tell you none of those things are the problem, because here's what people aren't telling you. No matter how amazing your funnel is, no matter how perfectly aligned your messaging is, no matter how like vetted everybody that comes through is, no matter what, that funnel will have leaks. I repeat, no funnel is 100% perfect. And they're also not built to, for example, pre-sell. This is actually why when people say, oh, like, do you have a warm list or do you have an existing audience? You run that funnel to that audience and it converts much better. It's because they've, in a way, been pre-sold. Either they've been pre-sold to you, so they don't have objections in terms of like, are they completely cold? Or you may have already primed them through your content or through some sort of communication that through like prime them to like have their objections satisfied. So what I mean by this is when you run a funnel to a completely cold audience, or let's say that you just started running your funnel and you have an existing warm audience, what Facebook or Meta does is that they will show that funnel to the people who are already warm to you. They're already in your world. They'll see who interacted with you on Instagram. They'll see who interacted with you on your email list, or who clicked through to, if they clicked through to your website. So, and this is like through like Pixel, through the Facebook Pixel. So those people already semi-warm to you. And what'll happen with a lot of people I see is that they may have like a small social media going, and their funnel will just trickle in sales, but eventually it'll stop. And that means their funnel's hitting completely cold people. Now, there is a way that you can do this without having to live on socials. There is a way that you can do this with ads. There's a way that you can grow an entire list of people, an entire audience, without having to show up constantly, without having to be the sales system. So, the other thing is like we're expecting your funnel to do everything, right? So your funnel, again, no matter how perfect, is not perfect. And by having it do absolutely everything, you know, um, opt-in, pre-sell, convert, handle objections, doing all of it on its own, it's gonna have leaks no matter what. Like that's just the beginning of the funnel. There's in cases where people are interested, but they drop off midway, and you're like, okay. um, Life happened, their kid disrupted them, whatever you want, like their internet went out. It doesn't matter. They got distracted but because it's socials, right? You want to have a way of reminding them to get back in. And then when they get through your funnel and they still haven't purchased, it's not because a lot of people like to just do retargeting ads. Oh, like, oh, just retarget them and show them your offer a whole bunch of more times. Most of the time, people might be interested, but it's not necessarily that they have to see your offer to convert. Like, it's likely that there are certain FAQs, certain like not I want to call them objections, but I like to call them like buying decision handlers that make the sale like okay, a no-brainer. And that's exactly why I created the Presell Ads Blueprint. So if you've already downloaded it, if you haven't, I'll link it in the chat box. But if you haven't downloaded it, um, I want to say that this is something that this is a system that I've been quietly creating in the background, and I've been testing it on myself, and it's created amazing results. I have been able to generate, I have been able to get so many people watching my videos without me having to live on socials. Like it literally for pennies. I want to say pennies a day. Like for like 3 cents, you can have hundreds of people watching your content a day. Like why not have your content work for you versus the other way around? Um, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a manifester. The way that I work is in spurts, right? And I have to honor, and I found this out recently, but I have to honor my rest periods. And I'm not sure how else I could have a business without having a system that works for me behind the scenes 24/7 while my energy is up and down. And, I'm what they call an initiator. So I like to start things and I inherently like to set up systems to support me in my, like, whenever I'm in my creative flow state or whenever I have to step back. I don't know how other people are doing it. I know most people, they can go, 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 go. That's just not how, like, if this resonates with you, let me know in the chat. But that whole stay consistent thing, I mean, it's literally not part of my makeup. Anyway, so I digress. So back to this system. So this is a system that I've been working on in the background. And again, if you are in this moment where you're like, okay, this sounds interesting. How does this actually work? Well, I'm going to walk you through the 3 ad types that I use to plug in the holes in my funnels, meaning that I get to support my funnel with this ads ecosystem so that it leaks way less. And I could have a lot more people just completing the actual thing and getting to the end. And the beauty of this is again, you can set this up and forget it. It runs for little pennies a day and it doesn't it means that you can actually scale without having to have your leads costs go up and have this gigantic back end where you have to have setters, closers, and all this crazy stuff just to sell some super high ticket products. Because on the front end, scaling means because what happens is when you scale your ad spend, your cost per sale goes up because there's just like a finite number of people as well on a like daily, weekly, monthly period that will go and finish your ad. So, and again, this is not you. And I also want to touch upon this before we get into it, because for a lot of people, especially if you have an offer that works, it's beautiful, people love it. And you're like, okay, I want to be able to sell this offer on autopilot. You know it works, your people love it. And you're like, okay, let me put it on a funnel. And then you put on a funnel. And then again, it starts selling with your ads. And then it like slowly peters off. Again, this is a symptom of you burning through your audience. Because again, just like on socials, when you maybe when you started, you were getting so much traction. Like nobody wants to talk about how reach is actually down. The algorithm changes all the time, but it is actually designed to, the more like targeted and honed in your sales message is, to actually make it so that you get less reach. That it does actually hate you. The algorithm does. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the goal of these platforms is not to show people ads every single day, 24/7. What they want is a certain experience, or else people won't go on the app. So if you try to scale and push more money towards a leaky funnel, they're going to be like, okay, we're going to show your ads even more, but it's going to cost you more. So that's the whole behind the scenes on that. And it's probably why you're probably like, oh, I just want more people. Like you probably have amazing content on your socials, but it's like the same 600 people that you have in your audience that are even paying attention. And it's the same like 6 people who opt in. And you're like, God damn it. Like that if you just had more eyeballs, you would triple your income. Right. So the first ad type that you could have in your ads ecosystem is essentially what I like to call the cold lead converter. And this is essentially your like pre-funnel ad. So before people even go through your funnel, before you even spend money on that click, people are getting pre-sold. Meaning, and when I say pre-sold, I mean, you're handling objections, you're shifting beliefs. And what this ad does is it's a video viewer ad. And so it is very cheap to run because it's not optimizing for a sale or a lead conversion. It is just video viewers. And depending on how many people see that, you can already know that they're already interested. And so what you would then do with those people is then those people will get shown your um, funnel. They'll get shown your other ad. And again, like I said, that's the way that Meta works. You don't have to like you could, but you don't necessarily have to only target them because they'll get shown your offer anyway. And this is getting more into like the how, which is that's going to come at the end. But again, people don't know you, they don't trust you, they're completely cold. When they hit your funnel, it's kind of like, what? But what this ad does is it's like, you know, a short belief shifting video, or maybe even like something a little longer like this, where like you're on camera. It could be fast, punchy, kind of like a disruptive truth. And it will really help to, first of all, get people into your world and get people like diving into your energy, your expertise. And again, by the time they hit your funnel, they're already sold on, like, for example, I love to do like make them problem aware there. I like to shift beliefs and show them what the actual issue is, what's actually going on, become relevant, right? And it's a great way, again, to add like literal hundreds of people a day just consuming your content versus you struggling on social media. Like, who wants to do that? And then the second ad type is like the mid funnel, and this is like the funnel fixer, the one that like plugs a hole where people are dropping off for whatever reason. um, uh, Whereas the last ad, it was like pre-qualifying people who would come in already kind of sold on the idea, already problem aware, already like the type of person who would immediately see your offer and be like, yes, this is it. If that person, for some reason, they sign up, but they don't show up because they forgot, because life got in the way, because they're bombarded. Maybe you have a webinar, or but they bail before the pitch for whatever reason. Their kid stole their phone. That happens to me. They read your sales page, but then they just like, they were thinking about it, and then like they're on socials, they accidentally scrolled and they're gone. This is the ad that will get them right back in. And these are very short reels type ads that take apart the key pieces of your message that's inside your funnel, which it could be anywhere in there that they dropped off, and they will send people back. Like, you could literally be like, hey, I noticed you went through my funnel, or like you went through to my XYZ webinar. I just want to remind you of, and then you get them back in. It's very simple. Again, a short conversion focused video. You could also answer a common objective here, or sorry, a common objection, or show a transformation in that one. But I prefer to do this towards the end with the last one. And again, why this works is, again, most people don't even take action the first time. Again, it does take a certain amount of touch points. I like to say that those are potent touch points. I don't like to say that you're warming people up, because if you're already at that convincing stage, then they were never for you to begin with. And so the last type of ad is the post funnel ad, which is what you would call your retargeting ad. But what I do is not just retargeting. I don't just optimize for conversion. I like to optimize for reach, because then the most people, and this is an actual retargeting ad where you do retarget, again, the people that have gone through your funnel, and this is like the final push. But essentially, here showing results, showing testimonials, case studies, showing FAQ ad style that like handles those like last decision making objections, where it's not that they aren't sold, but it's that they just have a certain small qualifying question. And the way this works is because if someone goes through a funnel and they're like, yeah, but is this going to work for whatever niche I'm in, those types of questions, which are probably at the end of your sales page right now, but who even gets to that? right? So those are the three ad types that are what I encompass my pre-sale ad strategy, because again, they pre-sell the people in your world. Now, if you're still here, if you've watched this till the end, thank you. I want to I want you to leave with this nugget of like, if you have an audience, if you're on social media and you're like, okay, I have an audience that I am marketing to and I'm showing up all the time and they're going through my funnels and they're buying, but you're constantly having to reinvent the wheel. Like you're constantly having to create a new offer just to keep people engaged, keep people buying. You feel like, okay, I'm my own salesperson here. Like I'm the driver of every sale. Or like if you feel like, you know, you want, you like the idea of having the ability to bring in like hundreds of aligned buyers into your world for less than a cost of a latte per day. And again, this isn't just about visibility. This is about building a sales ecosystem that works whether or not you show up. Because yes, content does matter, your messaging matters. You can absolutely build with a small audience. That's true for me too. I've made so much money. But eventually, you know, the reality of the situation is that eventually that audience will buy everything you have. They will consume everything. And where does that leave you? Creating more offers, constantly reinventing the wheel every month. And that's normal, right? That it's nothing wrong with you or like how you're marketing, or it's not to do like it is just how social media is designed. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be creating like offers every 5 minutes to try and reignite engagement, to try and get more and more sales just to push a sale, right? I'm sure that doesn't feel good in your body. And again, that only just dilutes your messaging and your authority across the board, having a gajillion offers, right? Because again, at some point, that warm audience does run out, right? That's not failure. That is just reality. And if you're still here, I know that your offer works, your content is good, it's good enough, you've had results, right? You've had buyers, but you just know that your audience is just tapped out. That's okay. And right now, you're probably feeling like you're the whole system. You're the content creator, the strategist, the copywriter, the DM closer, the everything. You create the nurture sequences, you do everything. And if you're realizing, like, okay, that's not really scalable, not if you actually want to live a life while you grow your business, right? So, um, on that note, I do want to say something that a lot of like gurus won't touch upon, like no one else is saying out loud, but it's that those same gurus, those same people, they are running ads. Whether like they tell you as part of their strategy, like you will see them running ads while saying that they grew their business organically to 7 figures before they ever touched ads. And it's like, okay, so why are you running ads now? The truth is that this environment has changed, and that's okay, right? You know, but they have teams behind them. They have visibility engines set up that you don't see. And if you're waiting to like magically go viral or get discovered or whatever it is, you're literally gambling with your momentum, literally. And so the deeper your content gets, the more targeted, the lower your reach goes. And that is not your fault. That's by design. And again, Instagram isn't like broken. That's just how it works. If you were one of the lucky ones who was able to grow an audience a few years ago, by now you probably wouldn't even be here because you wouldn't have this problem. But again, doesn't mean that your content and your messaging isn't powerful. It just means that fewer people are seeing it. And that is just across the board. And it's to the point that those same big name brands are also running ads right now because they realize that even with their, reach power, they're capped at a certain point. It's a pay to play system. So I just want you to let that sink in. And if you keep saying, like, they keep saying, oh, it's your messaging. Yes, that's partly true, but it's also true that visibility needs to catch up to your genius at the same time. Both can be true. So here's what you actually need: a system that grows your audience with aligned buyers every single day, a way to prime them with your content before they ever hit your sales page, right? A method that turns those strangers into clients on autopilot. That's exactly where I created my bingeable ads ecosystem. This is my signature visibility and sales system that uses simple content driven ads that will grow your audience every day. It looks exactly like what you're currently doing on socials, but they're tailored in specific sales psychology driven tactics. We hit every note on that spectrum, and we make sure that on a daily basis, you're growing that invisible audience with so many people. And I call it invisible because they'll just show up as like 250 people viewed your video, but then you can retarget them. Then you don't actually have to worry whether your pixels working, whether the conversions are falling out, because they're all in Meta, right? And then you plug the holes in your funnel with ads that drive people back, and then you convert them into dream clients with specific retargeting ads that work like magic without needing to launch, post daily, or show up like literally be on Instagram. So I don't know, but again, that is just not part of my makeup. I don't know how people do this, but it's not for the weak. So this is how it works. I like to call it my 4P formula, which is first we prime. So first we create bingeable content style ads that cost, again, as little as pennies a day and bring in new eyeballs every single day. Like just imagine that you're selling the same offer. You don't have to create something new all the time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. That like it just gets flooded with people every day, with new people every day that are super excited. Imagine having like so many people at your next live masterclass. So again, people who are aligned, people who are actually watching before, and then they're like, oh, this is this person's. And then they actually like, yeah, let me engage. Let me go into their world. Let me drink them in. Let me experience their energy. The next is plug, which again, to be honest, most people, like I said, are losing leads left and right in their funnel. The funnels are leaky. We've established that today. And then you have people who see your stuff and they're being moved through the next step, and you're cycling them back in, and they go actually get through your funnel. And then it's the positioning, right? So this is the next P, position. Again, think FAQ, retargeting, case studies, value-driven retargeting, where it's not just, of course, we also show them your offer, but it's not just that, right? This is how you make those decision handlers for by decision objections before they come in. So this is how you position yourself as like the obvious yes without having to get on a sales call. And then finally is the profit, right? So this is where the entire system compounds. We make sure that everything is tight, especially backend email sequences that work hand in hand to create that consistency throughout. So you're no longer relying on algorithms. You're not just focusing on Meta. Like, what if you lose your ad account? Don't worry, got you covered. Or, also just like live energy to make sales. So, and before you ask, no, this isn't some beginner ads course that teaches you how to run like a freebie funnel to grow your email list, or of people who are like not even, they just ghost you, never open your emails. This is not this. This is not also like how to make your first Canva graphic to set up a lead ad. This is about taking the content that you've already creating, making it work for you. This is about replicating your real-time marketing on autopilot. Just imagine you wake up to DMs from women saying, I just found you and I've been binging your ads, your content for the last hour. How can I work with you? You see your Stripes notifications rolling in from whatever high ticket offer, because that's the whole point. You can bring in premium people, right? This isn't just for low ticket. This is for premium ticket as well, or anything in between. The beauty of this is, again, you're replicating what you're doing on socials. Your offer can be as niche as possible because you are preempting, you're priming an audience of people before your funnel even starts. That's the beauty of this pre-sale ad system. So right now, I am opening a few spots of this. It's sort of a beta round. This is something that I've been building quietly in the background, and yeah, I want to walk a small amount of women, a small group of women through this ads ecosystem. It's a 6-week done with you container where I help you build this ad system from scratch. I'm talking, weekly calls, real-time feedback on your strategy, your funnel, your content. We co-write it together. And yeah, this is going to be like your own personal one-on-one private container for support for 6 weeks to build this up. I am beyond excited to be able to finally come out with this. And of course, you get lifetime access to the course once to like the future course once it's complete. This is a one-time beta opportunity to work with me directly. And after this round, the format changes, the price may also change. So if your offer's already proven, and if you're done trying to post your way to sales, trying to do the whole like, you know, publish and pray with your ads, and you're thinking like, okay, I want a system that just freaking brings in people into my offer every day without me having to like chase, then this is absolutely for you. Again, this is a one-time beta only 6-week done with you container for $999. Once I create this offer in its full like course like format, I want to be able to um, build it in a way where it's like cold created with you so that it actually gets results. So if you're ready to grow your audience and sell your premium offer without constantly chasing, then this is your moment. So you can DM me on Instagram at _Catherine Feliciano Coaching if you're interested, or you can comment below. Thank you so much for joining my live, and I'll see you soon.